Hello and welcome to BRIT Live. I'm Meg McGrady.
And I'm Nick Martin. We've got loads coming up on the show today, so I'm very excited. How about you, Meg?
I'm so excited. We've got new equipment, we've got new cameras.
Woo!
Budget upgrade. So what's in store for this week?
Well, this month began with an open mic. We take a look at Vigil Arts and Design's final major project. Theatre has their Shakespeare season, and BRIT Silver's Year 13 dance show, and much, much more.
And just a few days from the general election, we'll be joined by our special guest, our local MP, Steve Reed, about why young people should be involved in politics.
But first of all, to reflect on the devastating and barbaric attack in Manchester, our correspondent Jamie Morland has this report from a vigil in London.
The vigil was only small, but the message was very big. London stands in solidarity with Manchester, and the country will not be divided by terrorists. Following the explosion at the Manchester Arena, which killed 22 and injured over 50, a group of cyclists decided to hold a 1-minute silence in Trafalgar Square to reflect upon the children, parents, friends and family killed in the atrocity.
It started off as a cyclist thing, which then went on to an everybody thing. And the whole idea was just to do something for the people of Manchester, show a bit of solidarity, just for people to come out really, and just, we're not afraid.
I used to live in Manchester, so I feel, quite upset by what happened last night. And there's a lot of people came already today who heard it over so many different avenues and just basically searched for something, happening in London today that they can show their support. And I think it's really important that we do that.
I spoke to a man whose friend who was at the concert is still missing.
I knew a lot of people at the Ariana concert last time. Most of them got out safe apart from one of them, and he was there with his boyfriend, and his boyfriend got back safely, but he's just been missing since. And they've contacted the local hospitals, but he's not there, and no one can find him really. It's not great.
And how are you feeling about not knowing where he is?
It's scary because there's still so many unnamed bodies that are still around, so we don't know if he's one of them or if he's safe, no one knows anything.
The UK's terror threat level has now been raised to critical, the highest level, meaning another attack may be imminent. Whilst Greater Manchester Police are still investigating whether the killer was acting alone, there is one thing for certain. Another attempt at dividing Britain has only brought everyone closer together. Jamie Morland, Update News, London.
Well, throughout today's show, our thoughts will be with the victims. And here at the BRIT School, we certainly stand in solidarity as we pay our respects to the people of Manchester.
In the spirit of community, over in Community Arts Practice, they've been working on their show Recap in the OB Theatre. Let's take a look.
Hello! We're BRIT Live!
You are joking.
I know.
That was atrocious.
That better be in that.
What is the show about today?
So our show is about what we do in our day-to-day kind of course, and what kind of lessons we do, and what kind of clients group we actually work with, and what kind of impact our course and what we do actually has on people.
I think it's really important, obviously, because we do so much. Like, we have so much experience. Like, as soon as we started, it was going straight in and working with like a client. I think it was Lodge, which is like children with like hearing impediments, and our show just really, it contrasts. It shows how complex the things that we do are and how different it can range from.
what today is all about in terms of you coming to the school and working with the CAP students?
We have no idea.
I think it's because we worked with them on our spring show last year. It's just sort of like meeting up with each other and see what we've all been doing and getting up to since we last saw them. So obviously we've just performed our piece to them and we're just waiting to watch their piece, which we're quite excited about.
Did you kind of put these workshops together yourselves, or were they kind of given to you?
I think some people got chosen to run, but then what happens in there is all up to us. Like we're left completely.
So in terms of our festival on a whole, we were split into different groups. So there was like me personally, I was in a bookings team, so I was in charge of getting all the clients that we have coming in. We have people that are planning workshops.
I was marketing.
You was marketing,
so I
she
was doing
focused
social
on-
media, so like all the Instagram posts, all the posters that went out, everything. I was a part of doing that.
And that's just in terms of our festival. When it comes to our show, our teachers they've put together 4 pieces, but the rest of it is completely us. We've devised, choreographed, written, kind of everything that we've done. And I think it's really important that we did do that because it just shows that it's coming from us,
like
our
from our
experiences, and it's not just it's different to a normal show.
And the CAP Strand will be performing as part of the BRIT Silver Festival in July.
Really looking forward to that. We're also celebrating 25 years of the BRIT School in the big silver top that will be set up in the field very, very soon as part of the whole year's event.
Bella and Joe visited the other palace earlier this month, where the Music Strand had an open mic night. Here's how they got on.
Tonight, we are at the Other Palace in Victoria, in central London, where the Music Strand are going to be holding an open mic night. This is quite a contrast compared to the many previous large concerts that they've been putting on at school, and they will be performing a variety of pre-existing songs and songs written by themselves.
Were you nervous to perform today?
Yes. Partly because at the beginning I was nervous to play the guitar whilst I was singing, and then Maya Scholl led my guitar part in half an hour, so then we were both nervous because we'd not even rehearsed, but yeah, it went fine, so I was nervous, but nothing to be nervous about.
What did you perform?
I performed Lover You Should Have Come Over by Jeff Buckley, and then Halo by Beyonce, but like a little acoustic-y version of it.
Do you write your own music?
I do. However, in the summer I will be putting some out on my SoundCloud because I will have perfected a little group of songs by then. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you very much.
Now, as part of the Shakespeare season of theatre, the Theatre Strand put on 4 Shakespeare works: Richard III, Macbeth, Hamlet, and Measure for Measure.
Each production had a twist, though. For example, Measure for Measure was set around an acid rave culture, and Richard III was characterized as US President Donald Trump, whilst Macbeth was based on feminism. Let's have a look.
Shakespeare season at the BRIT School is about trying to get everyone to make sure that they can express themselves in a very versatile way, experiencing a different type of theatre compared to normal naturalism theatre that we are used to.
I think the Shakespeare season this year is all about representing things that are happening in the real world today. So our play obviously is about Donald Trump. Hamlet is about mental health. Macbeth is about feminism, and A Measure for Measure is about rave culture, which they're all very different, but they're all still so important in society today. And I think it was our job to show it, but still in a different and unique way.
It's also really good training because a massive part of getting into drama school is if we take it our careers further, and in the real world, it's Shakespeare is such a used thing. So it's good to get comfortable using that kind of text and that kind of, and also transferable skills from making an old text new, because a lot of people do that all the time.
One thing Shakespeare did really well is that he recognised human faults, and then because humans don't change, so these faults be the same. So whether it was 1,000 years ago or today, people can still recognise all these weird and interesting characters.
Well, we're not going to be talking about Trump.
We're not?
Nope.
Okay, yes, of course.
But we are going to be getting slightly political as we focus on the upcoming general election with today's guest, our local MP, Steve Reed, in just a few minutes.
But first, we go to Vigil Arts and Designs, who have been busy setting up for their final major project.
So our final major project is our final project that we do at the BRIT School, and it's the end of our course where we use all the skills that we've learned and we produce a piece independently, finding out what we really want to do.
Well, this year my work's textiles based, and it's a large textile blanket, and so I've used like African fabrics and stuff that I have from like my home and stuff, and I'm looking at the famine and stuff in East Africa and northeastern Nigeria.
I think being in VAD has really given me a space to develop as an artist. It's the only thing I study, so I've really got time to think about it. It sort of becomes like your life, so yeah, you really do progress. And you get the chance to try a lot of different skills, develop your art, and it's nice to be around people who are doing the same thing as you, to get to influence each other and learn from each other.
Mine is about my favourite colour, which is pink. It's the idea of when I was younger, all my decisions were based around that colour, and as you grow up you kind of lose it, but it's the reason, like, kind of idea why. My piece is more of a collection, it's quite stereotyped, so the pieces in it are objects which represent stages in life. People might not agree with where I've positioned them, but some people do. But yeah, it's kind of the idea of keeping that colour throughout your whole life, and if it makes you happy, then surround yourself with it.
I was experimenting with facial expressions and what it's like to have autism and not being able to understand the facial expressions. So I was painting various parts of the face that probably would be most prominent in a facial expression, and I used the colour in the background to kind of try and reflect it a bit.
I love exhibitions, like it's really exciting to have other people see your work and just getting their opinions really, like even if it's bad or if it's good, just to see how they find your work and just getting a response.
I come from Hastings, which is like this really small seaside town where nothing ever happens, and then I got into this school and so much has changed. Like I've learned all these new skills and I've been to all these different places. Yeah, I've had so many opportunities as well.
I've learnt to be passionate about your work, because I guess if you're not, then like it's not really going to turn out how you want it to. And it's okay to change your mind and experiment and try different things.
I'm now joined by local MP and Labour candidate for our constituency, Croydon North, Mr. Steve Reed. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure, delighted to be here.
Just days to go until the general election. How are you feeling about it?
Well, it's quite a tiring thing being involved in a campaign, but I like getting out and talking to people, listening to their views, so I'm enjoying myself.
So is it more nerves or excitement?
It's a mixture of both, really. It's a bit like taking an exam, isn't it, really? You've got to, you've got to do your best and you hope it will go well, but you don't know.
Why do you think politics is important for young people now more than ever?
Well, politics is always important for everybody, and what worries me is a lot of young people aren't interested in politics, but despite that, politics is interested in them. So politicians get elected and they take decisions that affect young people. So we've seen tuition fees trebled, we've seen the education maintenance allowance taken away, we've seen young people can't get housing benefit anymore. If more young people got out and voted and made their voices heard, it would be harder to do these things.
Yeah. How can people get involved and have a say, especially with under 18s feeling left out in elections and referendums?
Yeah, well, actually, it was me that I put down a motion in Parliament that 16-year-olds should get the vote as well, and I think they should. But democracy isn't just about voting. That's an important part of it. But people can get involved in campaigns. They can go and talk to their MPs, their elected councillors. They can make their views known in public forums, on social media. And the important thing is just get out there and have a say. And whoever you vote for, vote, because Parliament will not listen to young people unless they exercise their right to vote, because it's votes that send MPs in there.
Yeah. And do you think creative and performing arts should be a priority in education?
Of course they should. You know, I've been the MP here for 4 years. I've been to this school many times. It's a place where dreams come true. You know, I see the transformation it makes in people's lives. And one of the things the government is proposing to do is to cut education in London over the next couple of years. And this school is listed to lose just under £600,000 over 2 years. That's potentially 15 teachers. And we can't afford to lose that many teachers from this school. So, you know, whatever you do, if you can't vote yourself yet, get your parents to get out there and vote, but make sure you vote for this community.
Yeah. Thank you for
Pleasure.
coming.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you, Nate. On the 10th and 11th of May, Post 16 Dance Strand will put on a showcase in the Greenwood Theatre. It's promised to be an exciting night showcasing the future of all things dance, from contemporary to commercial theatre, jazz and tap.
Welcome to, well, you know what it is. It's the Greenwood Theatre today, and the MT Strand are going to be doing some dance. A lot of parents and friends and family have come to see it, and it's hopefully going to be really good. And yeah, I'm pretty nervous, and I'm not even doing it, so God knows how they feel. What did you think of the performance?
Oh, I think every performance has been great so far from everyone. It's nice to see a mixture of Year 12 and Year 13 students, because you never really see that in other strands, which is nice.
Do you know what? I looked at it and I thought it was amazing. Like the technique, and everyone looked like they're working really hard to what they really want, and like you could really tell that everyone really wants to be on that stage, and it's such a beautiful thing to see, because you don't get the opportunity to be on stage 24/7. So seeing those students on that stage, like really, you could really tell they really wanted to be there. So it was amazing.
Yeah, I think whenever I watch a BRIT show, what I enjoy the most is the rawness. Like, it's just the hunger. They're ready, and I think like that's something that even though maybe like there's certain things that they haven't got, that's one thing that they always have every year. It's quite consistent, and people that are much older, kind of, you go out and you think, oh, like, why don't you want this? You know what I mean? Or like in different colleges, why don't you want this? But whenever I watch a show here, they always want it, and they always bring everything, and I'm always so proud to come from here.
Oh, so proud.
Loved all of it. Very diverse, from tap to contemporary, and loads of energy, loads of enthusiasm. Loved it.
Do you think that they should get more opportunities to perform in like public places that aren't just in BRIT School?
100%. Like 2 to 3 shows a year, like is great, and it's a blessing. But I think if the BRIT School was to get an opportunity, even more opportunities to perform throughout the year, it just does so much more for your like creative like outbursts, like your creative energy, and like it really helps you kind of like develop and see where you kind of want to be after the BRIT School, you know? So like having those opportunities, I think, is really important. So,
and I think it's important as well, like, to make you realise if you're cut out for it. A lot of people focus so much on just the end goal, but like for me, every show that we did, every performance we did, the bit that I lived for was getting there, was the rehearsals, was the training. Do you know what I mean? So I think the more performances that you add, it will make people realise maybe a bit more whether it is what they want to do, because that's what the school is for. The school is to enlighten and to kind of educate the youth. And with the more opportunities you give them, that's naturally what's going to happen. You can, as a young mind, decide, oh, this is for me. I love training. I love doing this. I love being on stage. Whereas with less performances, it's harder to kind of achieve.
I think it's nice that they don't perform it in the OB at BRIT. I think it's nice they get to perform it in a London theatre.
What are your thoughts about BRIT Silver?
BRIT Silver, I think it's a very good idea, and it would be wonderful that it will continue for another 25 years. So I hope it's very successful.
Fantastic thing, raising money for the BRIT School. It's a wonderful place. I've been to loads and loads of BRIT shows, and I'll continue to come, and it's a great place. I had 2 daughters who've gone there, and they've had the time of their life, so all for BRIT.
As you can see, it was a brilliant turnout. All of the musical theatre students loved it, and so did the audience. So we're going to go back to you, Luke and Meg, and hopefully that'll be great.
Fantastic. Time now, though, for our musical guest. He's very, very close to having a record deal sealed. From Year 13 Music Strand, please welcome Goran with Easy For You.
I'm feeling optimistic, baby, and I've never let you get so damn close to me before. You already know I'm crazy, so before we hit the lights, why don't you tell me some more? One more wrong move and it's gonna be over. All the cries from paradise make me feel stronger. Let it sink in that it could have been perfect if only you meant it. If only you meant this. Look at me, tell me you won't just walk out and leave. Tell me there's something I haven't seen in your eyes, your eyes, your eyes. What's going on in that head of yours? I don't know who you are anymore. Why is it so down easy for you? Oh, so easy for you. So down easy for you. Tell me, baby, tell me why it's so damn easy for you. Oh, so easy for you. So damn easy for you. Oh, baby. Funny, I thought you were classy. It never crossed my mind that you might do this to me. Can we take it to the back seat? Or will you constantly make it so I don't know what to believe? One more wrong move and it's gonna be over. All the cries from paradise make me feel stronger. Let it sink in that it could have been perfect if only you meant it. If only you meant this. Hear me out, I'll give you something to think about. I'll make sure you don't have any doubts. In your mind, your mind, your mind. What's going on in that head of yours? I don't know who you are anymore. Why is it so down easy for you? Oh, so easy for you. So down easy for you. Tell me, baby, tell me why it's so damn easy for you. Oh, so easy for you. So damn easy for you. Oh, baby, there's nothing around us but glittering gold. How are we meant to break out of this old? Emotionless love isn't how it should be. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for me, baby. Oh, yeah. Hey! Easy for you. Oh, so easy for you. So damn easy for you. Tell me, baby, tell me why is it so damn easy for you? Oh, so easy for you. So damn easy for you. Oh, baby.
Goran, everyone. And that's all for today. Coming up on our next episode, the Dance Strand presents Dynasties, The Sands of Time.
And the Year 11 graduation will be in the Big Brits 25 Silver Top on the 27th of June.
Try saying that 3 times fast.
All information can be found on the BRIT School's box office website.
And thanks again to Goran and Steve Reed. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.